How to set goals like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was famous for his high standards. In fact, those impossible targets he set for himself and his team made Apple the innovative powerhouse it is today. According to one employee, when engineers completed the prototype for the very first iPod, they presented their work to Jobs for his approval. The team gathered in his office, excited to show Jobs the device that they had spent months creating. Jobs looked at the device and immediately rejected it because it was way too big. The engineers were shocked. Some explained that they would basically have to go all the way back to the drawing board and change the entire technical design of the device in order to make it any smaller. Some even suggesting that his wishes of making the iPod smaller were simply impossible. Jobs stood up, walked over to an aquarium tank in his office and dropped the iPod in the water. After it slowly sank to the bottom of the tank and touched the bottom, bubbles floated to the top. He said, "Those are air bubbles. This means that there's space in there. Make it smaller." These sorts of stories are legendary and they make Apple the highly admired and respected brand that it is today. So how did Steve Jobs set such high standards? And how did he get so much achieved during his lifetime? Well, there are certain mindset tricks and sets of values which helped Jobs achieve the level of greatness we all know and respect him for. The first one is always focusing on creating value. Steve Jobs knew early on that he wanted to create enormous value in the world. He didn't want to ever do anything half-arsed or mediocre. His end goal wasn't to just accumulate money in the bank, he wanted to change the world and do something that was revolutionary. For those and many other reasons, he focused on value and creating beautiful, simple products embodying a far superior user experience than anyone could have expected. Today, if you look at any successful entrepreneur such as Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, you'll see that the core habit of creating value is the centerpiece to everything that they do. Bezos makes decisions solely based on making Amazon the most customer-centric company on the planet, whereas Musk has built many valuable companies including Tesla, where you can essentially press a button and make your car dance for you. Need I say any more? The second thing Jobs did is he used to obsess over every single detail. People have talked endlessly about Steve Jobs' meticulous attention to detail, mostly in a negative light. But it's that same obsession that led Apple from bankruptcy in 1997 to becoming one of the world's most valuable companies. Every entrepreneur who has achieved great things has been said to have a meticulous nature for detail. This no doubt helps them to turn their ideas into well-executed plans. If you can obsess over the little details and look at the minute things that could be coming up in the future, then they could literally help you change the entire way that you look at business and make far more progress over the long term. And with consistency, improving over time obviously equals progress, which most likely leads to success. The next thing is Steve Jobs used to set goals very often. He used to set regular goals by setting long-term goals and short-term goals on a consistent basis. The goals helped him to outline a strategy for achieving the objectives that he had laid out previously, creating simple and beautiful products that worked truly well and added an enormous amount of value to the lives of the many people who use them. Remember, long-term goals should give you direction, whereas short-term goals and the milestones should help you stay on track every step of the way towards your long-term goals. Goals help us move from one point in our life to another, and without an effective strategy for setting goals, life can sometimes seem a little meaningless. Steve Jobs knew how to leverage the art of goal setting by making it habitual, helping him to achieve so much during his lifetime. The next thing he used to do is track and analyze his progress. Successful entrepreneurs like Jobs know that in order to achieve their goals, they need to constantly track and analyze their results. In fact, it's the meticulous devotion to tracking and analyzing the outcome of his results that led him to understanding how best to navigate his time and energy. He knew he had to watch the outcome of his results and to do so very carefully to help guide future decisions and commitments. Jobs also had an accountability mindset, ensuring that was always someone responsible for everything that was happening, whether it be in meetings or the day-to-day running of the company. If something wasn't quite right, there was always a person responsible who knew they had to fix it. The next step is to learn from every failure. Now, nobody likes failure, and the fear of failure is often enough to scare people from even reaching for a lofty goal. Steve Jobs was no stranger to failure, but he also knew how to use those failures to fuel him rather than hold him back. The habit of learning from failure is a rare one. Try to look at failure as a stepping stone. Steve Jobs' biggest professional failure was being pushed out of Apple back in 1985, and it took him over 12 years to finally get back at the helm in 1997 and turn the business around to achieve the incredible amount of success it has today. Last and by no means least, never ever give up. Of course, every great entrepreneur has persistence and an iron will. It's the level of persistence that truly turns someone from being mediocre into an extraordinary individual. Someone who has the potential of achieving great things. When others thought certain things weren't possible, Jobs knew all too well that they were. But he had to break boundaries or drop a few iPods into fish tanks in order to make them happen. Jobs stayed strong-minded and persistent in everything that he did, and it's that simple principle of just not giving up which was likely one of the main factors in motivating Jobs and helping him towards creating some of the world's most useful products. If you need any help developing your goal setting or even just developing a stronger mindset, let me know and you can book a free 15-minute discovery session with me. Also, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video until the end. Make sure you leave a like, a comment, let us know what you found useful, and also feel free to subscribe as well. We've got so much incredible content coming in the future. Apart from that, I'll see you in the next video.